taking responsibility for ourselves. You spoke a bit already about really looking at how we are showing up, how we are taking responsibility for ourselves and the actions that we ourselves can make. Where does it fit in for folks to be their authentic selves, to do things like wear the bright lipstick or get the bright colored nails when they're getting the mani pedi, or anything else that you know could be them expressing their fullest selves,
Mhm.
maybe in a world where they don't feel like that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely live in a world that's not okay, right? I mean, we talk about like, trolling on Facebook or, Instagram or wherever it is, people are so quick to criticize and so quick to judge. And there's two things that are coming up for me around this right now is, I think specifically with women is it's being the permission and also being each other's hype women. I was going to say cheerleaders. I went to a conference recently and they talked about like hype women. I'm like, yes, not cheerleaders. Like we need hype women in our lives. And this goes for men too, right? Like we all need people in our lives that are going to be our huge sources of support and constantly cheering us on and constantly backing us up. So it's so funny. We're talking about bright colored nails, and I just was at the nail salon today, and I overheard this woman that was sitting a couple seats behind me, and she was talking to the nail technician, and she said, I'm kind of pale right now, and my hands are chubby, and so I just want to do something maybe kind of neutral, like nothing real flashy. And it was everything in my power to not stand up and turn around to her and say, honey, if you want to wear bright red nail polish or hot pink nail polish or, yellow or whatever it is, then do it. Do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else. Who cares what other people think about your nails right now? Like I chose really light purple because I'm like, I'm bringing on spring, and I just wanted to walk up to her and just encourage her to wear the color that she really wants to wear. And who cares what other people think about it? And so I'm clear that in me doing things like that, like choosing the weird color nail polish, wearing, if you saw my closet, it's lots of leopard print. Well, my husband knows that, but the rest of you don't have pink hair. I want to be the permission for other people to do this. There's this other girl that I know in the community, and her hair is always like it looks like a rainbow and she has the side of it shaved and she's so cool and edgy, and I think like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. And I catch myself even getting in that conversation like, oh, I can't shave the side of my head, I'm too old for that, I'm a mom, I'm not hip enough, I'm not that edgy. So I'm clear that like I'm having those internal conversations as well. But I love that she's out there being that permission for other people to just be really edgy and spunky and colorful. And I think we get to do that for one another, like stop falling into the cycle of what we should or should not wear, or, the hair that we should or should not have. And does it have an age limit? It's really important that we are the permission for one another to do that. And then we're standing alongside each other, like cheering them on, like have, to go back to like the hype women, like I have these two group text messages on my phone. And one of them is like two women who are like super powerful. They're both business owners, a couple of them multiple business owners, and we are a source of support for one another where we're constantly like pushing each other to level up. Like they're great sources of accountability. They interrupt my conversations, like if I'm being real victimy or whiny, they're like, okay, cool, how's this happening for you, now let's move on, right? And then I have this other group text where this is I just need to go be loved up on right now. And so when I come to them and I'm in kind of a rough place, like they just continue to like love on me and pour into me and cheer me on, and they have my back. And, I love that I have these two different friend groups in my life that are constantly cheering me on and having my back. And, you know, also why I do what I do, because I'm clear that not everybody has those women in
Yeah. Wow. You just mentioned a couple of things that I think are really worth examining here. So I want to make sure we hit both of them.
their.
The concepts of the permission, or
Mhm,
being the permission, being the
mhm,
permission for yourself, being the permission for others, and also the idea of community and how
mhm.
critical that is to living a fully expressed and vibrant version of your life. And so
Yeah.
maybe just to jump in on the permission piece first, you talked about being the permission for others, but how can people be the permission for themselves?
Mhm. Yeah, I love this question. And, anybody who's been to any workshop or any of my coaching, you've definitely heard me talk about this a lot. Um, if there's Brene Brown fans out there, even if you've not read Braving the Wilderness, I strongly recommend it. I full disclosure, I hijacked this from a friend and Brene Brown. So this is not my own idea. But in Braving the Wilderness, Brene Brown tells a story about a time that she was writing a permission slip for her daughter to go on a field trip. And she kind of had this revelation, like, I need a permission slip. Like, I need a permission slip to stop being so stuffy and to have fun and to create joy. And I can't remember everything she said in the midst of it. And so a good friend of mine actually took that and made it an exercise with a group of us. And I've taken that and moved it forward. So a lot of my clients and people who come to my workshops, they see that too, where it's like, where in your life do you need to give yourself permission? Where in your life are you finding yourself holding back? Where in your life are you making yourself small? Where in your life are you listening to the internal conversations, the dialogue inside versus, because we all have it, versus the truths about you? And so it's just an opportunity to, and this can go anywhere. Like, I just got excited and had a scroll moment. Stu and I did a workshop the other night for people who are unpacking what's in between them, where they are now, and finding the partner of their dreams. And so we did permission slips on, where do you get to give yourself permission to go in dating, or to be. And so I think it's really important that we get clear where we are holding back, and then give ourselves permission to go be that, or to go do that. you know I have my current journey is allowing myself to, like, be big and take up space. And you can't tell because we're on Zoom, or but I'm 6 foot tall, and I've been tall my entire life. And so that's not always been fun. I was made fun of a lot for that growing up, and I was bullied a lot. There were people that would, like, chant really awful words about me, calling me ogre or Sasquatch. And so I've always really struggled to embrace myself the way I am physically. And I see where that has crossed over into internally. So I don't want to I notice myself, like, not wanting myself to be fully expressive, take up all of the space, have all of the energy. I see where I've spent, 40 some years of my life trying to physically make myself small has transitioned into energetically making myself small. So my journey right now is, how big can I make myself? How big can I be? Um, and so that's my permission I'm giving myself right now, right? Is to be big, to take up space, to wear high heels, to shave the side of my head if I want to have the pink hair, to have the things that are outside of the norm, because it only matters to me. Um, and I think that I maybe just went on a little tangent there. And so you might need to rein me back in a little bit, but I know we were talking about permission. And that's just my current journey on permission. So getting
Okay.
really clear on the areas where we hold back.
And how can folks create the permission slip for themselves?
Yeah, so again, full disclosure, not my exercise. And I love it. I don't have them in front of me right now because we were just using them on our workshops, but honestly, I take a little Post-it note. They're the best. There's two ways I like to do this. As I take Post-it notes and I just write it. I'm giving myself permission to be big, to take up space physically and energetically. And I put it someplace where I can see it. So this is where my desk sits. So often it's right above my computer. Another thing that I really love to do, a friend of mine passed this idea on to me, is dry erase markers work wonders on mirrors. And so I write things on our bathroom mirror and it says on there, like, be big. So it's just a reminder every single day when I see it to be big and to take up space. Those are probably my two favorite ways, and then there's always affirmations, but there's tons of ways. Those are probably my two favorite.
So, just to summarize it for anyone listening, the permission slip exercise, which I'm hearing they can learn more about in Braving the Wilderness by Brene
Mhm.
Brown, but it's something that you've adopted for your coaching practice,
Yeah.
is basically looking at the things or areas of your life in which you are not being fully expressed, not
Yeah.
being the thing you want to be, and just writing yourself a permission slip, literally, either on a piece of paper or on the mirror to be that thing that you see missing. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's so this is fun too. And it's the thing that we see missing, but also like notice where you're judging other people,
Mm,
and what is that that's kind of pushing at you? And this is another thing is like typically when we judge people, it's because it's something that we're afraid we show up that way, or we used to, or we want to. So I'll look at other women who are really self-expressed and I'll notice the judgment conversation that pops up into my mind. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with them. That's actually because I'm not that way and I want to be.
mm.
So like when maybe you're searching for that. Well, I don't know. Where am I holding back right now? Notice the conversations that you have when you're interacting with or watching other people.
Yeah, absolutely amazing advice. And it's true. Like we all play the comparison game. I think it's part of just being a human being.
Sure.
And like you said, if you notice a pattern in what you are finding yourself judging, that's actually a clue to something that either you want or something that the other person reminds you of about yourself that maybe you
Hmm.
don't like. And so,
Hmm.
thank you for shedding some light on that.